Hey everybody, I have a little rant today. I'm going to spill some industry secrets. I'll start off with this one. You know when you go to a grocery store and you just want milk, eggs, or yogurt, or bread? All that stuff that you actually want is on the other side in the very back. And the reason for that is they want you to walk through that entire store full of junk food to get your products because they hope you're going to buy something that actually has margins on it that can keep them in business. And the bike industry is set up exactly the same way. When you want a bike tube, a bike tire, or your bike fixed, no profitable shop has that stuff sitting in the front. It's in the back. You have to walk through all the fancy new bikes, all the high markup gloves and t-shirts and accessories. You've got to walk through all of that to get to what you want. And I feel like bike mechanics, they have Stockholm syndrome on this industry. And the reasons for that are, it's somewhat complicated, but it's not that complicated. So most any profitable large size bike shop, their revenue on bike repairs is marginal, and usually it's revenue neutral, meaning what they pay the mechanics is what they've earned. You know, they don't make that much money off bike repair. And the reason for that is they use bike repair as kind of a get the customer in the door. So they fight, every bike shop fights each other on the cheapest price. And we're kind of like the eggs and milk. Who can sell the cheapest eggs will get all the customers into the grocery store. Or like, we're more like a furniture store, high margin, expensive stuff. And furniture stores like to give away hot dogs or t-shirts or something. And the bike mechanic, the bike repair is basically a free hot dog for the customer. That's a furniture store giving away hot dogs. That's not their business. Their business is to sell you a couch, not to give you a hot dog. And just like a bike shop, their business is to sell you a bike, not fix your bike. Fixing your bike is just a way to get you into the store. And what happens is you know, you got a nice pretty boy triathlete selling bikes. His name's Craig. He's selling all the bikes. He's pretty. He's getting all these bikes sold. And the bike shop owner looks at Craig, brings in 5 times more revenue than we pay him. Craig needs a raise. But Greg's in the bike shop. He's fixing bikes. We don't make any money off Greg. So what we're going to do is we're going to pay him 15 to 20 an hour because we know we kind of need a bike mechanic. But Greg isn't making us any money. And that's how the majority of bike shop owners think. They think bike repair is just getting in the door, fixing stuff. They want to sell you a bike. They want to sell you a t-shirt. They want to sell you all this junk. Their business isn't to fix your bike. And then we get paid, the bike mechanics get paid pennies. You know, it's a sad situation. I look to the car industry. I watch car industry YouTube and stuff, and they say we pay our car mechanics more than they could make on their own. They'd have to get their own insurance. They'd have to do all these things, and we pay them more. That's why they stay with us, because we pay them more. But the bike industry, it's literally set up the opposite. They pay the bike mechanics so little, like, I swear, to go work in a bike shop, they would pay me at least half of what I'm earning doing bike repair on my own. At least half per hour worked. So the bike industry pays you like peanuts. And then what do they get back for this poverty level wages they pay bike mechanics? They get back this Stockholm syndrome, this undying loyalty to the bike repair, to the bike shop industry, the undying loyalty to Specialized and Trek. Like these, it doesn't make any sense. Like, does the McDonald's employee who gets paid about the same as a bike mechanic, do they have undying loyalty to McDonald's? Or are they trapped in an economic system that is working against their interests? And that's just my point here. I don't hate anyone being a merchant, but there's a difference between being a merchant and selling merchandise and being a mechanic. And when you walk into a bike shop, I feel like a lot of bike mechanics have kind of sold out. And I'll put it this way. You go to your car mechanic. Your car's blown up. You need a new car. You need 7 seats. You need it to be reliable. Your budget's $20,000. Are they going to tell you to go buy a brand new Kia or something? Or are they going to tell you to buy a 5-year-old Honda Pilot? You know, you kind of trust the mechanic to tell you the truth. But, you know, most bike mechanics are not going to tell you the truth. They're going to be, and they might be brainwashed themselves. Like you walk into a Trek store and the bike mechanic's in the back and they're like, well, what bike should I buy? And it's like, well, you should buy that Trek Marlin. It's a great deal. It's $1,200. It's $1,200 and it's got everything you need. The bike mechanic knows there's better deals. They know that Polygon exists. They know that Ozark Trail exists. And for me, what I've decided 9 years ago when I start this business, I want to be a car mechanic for bikes. I want to fix bikes. My business isn't selling bikes. My business is fixing bikes, and people trust my opinion. I get text messages on a weekly basis. Hey, Greg, what bike should I buy? And you know, sometimes they're like, I want the very best bike possible. And it's like, yeah, go buy a Pivot at the bike shop, you know, whatever. Like that's what you want. That's what I will tell you to go get if that's your budget. But you know, a lot of times like, oh, go on to Bikes Online, buy Polygon. It's just frustrating. I know how much skill set I have in fixing a bike. There's car mechanics that call me to fix their bikes. And a lot of people on the internet think, oh, bike repair is easy. And you know, it is easy. To learn 80% of bike repair, it takes 20% of the time. But to learn to that last 20% of bike repair that makes you a professional, it takes 80% more time. So it takes years to learn how to do bike repair at the level of being able to charge other people. And the sad thing is go to your local town's Facebook or Google pages for bike shops, read the reviews. There's not many, I'm getting tongue-tied because I'm so flustered about this topic, but there's not many bad reviews on bike shops for buying a bike. Like most of the bad reviews have to do with the bike shop not fixing their bikes properly. And for some reason, that's not the most important thing for a bike shop to do, is to pay a professional with years experience to fix their bikes. Their priority is to sell bikes, which doesn't make any sense when the customer, your Google reviews show that the community wants you to fix bikes. They don't care about you selling bikes. So why undercut that pricing? Why give it away like free hot dogs? You know, it's like I started out this video talking about going into the grocery store, having to go to the very back to buy the milk and the eggs. But you know, you always know that I've never bought a rotten egg from a grocery store. I've never bought rotten milk from a grocery store. How long could a grocery store be in business and sell bad eggs and bad milk? You know, there's a lot of bike shops that sell rotten repairs. It's just not the value. The values of the bike industry is being a merchant, buying low, selling high. It's not about bike repair. If it was about bike repair, you wouldn't be seeing the kinds of crazy things on bikes. You know, if bike repair was the focus, there would be no internal headset routings on full suspension mountain bikes. There would be no press fit bottom brackets. You know, the bike industry doesn't focus on repair. They focus on buying low, selling high in bulk, and making a profit selling bikes. The bike industry is just like the furniture industry. Like it's the same business model. And everyone has this undying loyalty to these gigantic corporations, Specialized, Giant, Trek. I had people in the comments saying, Walmart uses slave labor. I would never buy, no matter how nice, I would never buy a Walmart bike. And it's like, you understand Trek just got in trouble because they were getting people from other countries, making them build bikes in Taiwan. If the employees wanted to leave, they had to keep working for years to pay for the flight home. Like, that's slavery. Like, Giant commits slavery. There's no clean hands in merchandise. There's no clean hands in buying low and selling high. There's degrees of moral vagueness, but maybe if you're building a bike in your garage, you're welding yourself and you're selling it, you've got clean hands. But as far as these gigantic corporations, Walmart versus Trek or wherever, the morality of any of them is, iffy. So I don't feel like that's a good argument to have to spend $400 more on a bike. And furthermore, the industry's kind of shafted, a lot of us tradesmen that spent decades learning how to do what we do. And it's a big bummer that we're not valued. And no one hates people, like, you think the bike industry hates Ozark Trail? No, they hate the bike mechanics more than they hate Ozark Trail. Can you imagine any other industry treating the only reason they exist so poorly? Like, I don't understand it. I don't understand it. Like, whatever. So yeah, maybe I'm a little bitter. So I'm spilling the beans on the bike industry because I think the bike industry is held back by its own greed. The bike industry wants like 2 million, a million riders that'll spend $5,000 a year on bike stuff, like me. But I want a bike industry where there's, 10%, 20% of the American population riding cheap Ozark Trail bikes on a weekly basis and calling me out every year for $100 or $200 worth of service. Like, that's what I want. And that's what bike mechanics should desire. The nichifying of bike repair is destroying the bike industry. It's happened to the snowmobile industry. A lot of these motorsports like paintballing or snowmobiling, a lot of these little niche sports, they nichify themselves to death. And that is what the bike industry is trying to do. They're trying to sell $10,000 bikes to a smaller and smaller population, and they're gonna coast on that. Meanwhile, the sport itself is gonna die. Like I said in my last video, I don't see anyone out here riding bikes. Like, I don't see people out on like a $600 bike just enjoying themselves. Like, that is gone. Like, all these people are gone from the riding pool. And I think Ozark Trail is our best hope of getting those people back. And I'm not gonna be like, no, spend twice as much at the bike shop. I'm not gonna do that. So that's what I'm here for. I'm here for the bike life. Look at my fancy shirt. I designed it myself. Bike Life. I renamed my channel from Swift Fix Bike Life with Greg. That was a bit too long. I renamed it to Greg's, that's me, Bike Life. And this is my shirt. And if you want a shirt, it's 20 bucks. I make a whole $1.50 off of it, but I think it's a cool shirt. Subscribe to my channel if you're liking these rants. And yeah, I'll see you next week. Have a good day, everybody.